Well, I've been using one of these arrows on my thumbnails for a while. Someone gave me this. It's the sort of things I've always wanted ever since I saw Send Out the Hounds, was it? That Channel 4 programme in the UK. Let me know in the comments if you remember it. But it's not doing it for me. I mean, the switch is a bit broken. It might just need new batteries. But can you actually see that lighting up? It barely lights up. I probably left it on all night. Let me turn the lights off and see whether I can get a better idea of it lighting up. Oh! Yeah, that's it. I don't know, I just want it to be more circus. So let's see what's inside. I suppose the title of this video could be Let's See What's Inside a Let's See What's Inside arrow. Right, I'll put those to the side to lose completely. I mean, this looks like it's really well made. I mean, that many screws. There's a lovely battery compartment as well. It's got 2 Duracells in it, would you believe? But that switch looks like a proper switch. I've got some of these switches somewhere, but, you know, maybe that's playing up, I don't know. But this is like, it's cardboard. It's just like the card you have at the back of a notepad. I mean, I maybe could make that switch work better. I could probably pop the switch out and spray some contact cleaner in it. I'm going to do that now. The best thing for me to do would be to take it apart, really, but what do you reckon? Does it work any better? It does. Huh. It's still not doing it for me though. They need to be brighter. So what's this actually doing? Well, 3 volts from the battery, that's fine. No resistor. Then it looks like these are probably all in parallel and they're little LEDs. So that means these will come out. So I'll see what I can do by putting a different LED in the back of that, I think. That's how I can hack this. I wonder whether it would be brighter though. I wonder whether I could light this with one of my reclaimed batteries. Let's have a look. Okay, so if I connect the negative to that and the positive to that terminal, so it's not going through the battery and it's bypassing the switch. So if I now connect a vape battery to that, and let's see whether that would make it a bit brighter maybe. Okay, nothing that way. Just do it the other way. Oh, okay. So that does, wow. So that could be one hack I could do of that, just using one of these recycled batteries. That's a bit better, but I don't know. It's still not circus, is it? Wonder what else I could do. Okay, so let's try powering up this Neopixel. Now I've set it up, and what I want to see is how good that lights up. I mean, it lights up, but I mean, you can tell that's orange, can't you? What happens if I turn the lights off? I mean, now it really glows up, but I still feel it could be a bit brighter. It's almost like I need a little light pipe in there or something. I wonder what would happen. I mean, I won't be able to use it again. I could always cut it apart, I suppose. I wonder what would happen if I filled that with hot glue. I'll turn this on, my glue gun. Wait till it goes red. Actually, it's right till it goes green properly, isn't it? So I should be able to just squirt hot glue into this. Okay, so has that worked? Yeah, all you're seeing is my fingers glowing underneath. Wonder if I cut these in half, then I could actually fit that inside it. I think it might be safer to, I've already hurt my finger. I've said that already, haven't I? Might be safer to saw this, I think. Yeah, no good can come of using a knife on that. That glue's getting into my sword blade now. So if you're doing this yourself, don't do it with hot glue. For these file cards, use that just to clear the glue from the blades. Good those are. How much gap is there in here? I know what will get this out. IPA delete. Hoping that will make it pickable outable. Huh. So that's disappointing. Don't think I'm going to be able to do this, unfortunately. Right, so I think the only way that I'm going to be able to fit this in there is if I did something like that. But then I'd almost have to make new. So I ended up giving up there. I decided to make these instead, and I casted these. I moulded them and I casted them. If you'd like to watch a video of that, leave a comment below. I might put that video up as well. But let's just say at this point I've casted these beautiful resin light bulbs. So let's try it, shall we? Let's see whether there's a little light I was using previously. Doesn't look very orange there, but it's flooding out a little bit. But watch it when I put it behind there. Look, it lights that bulb up really well. So I think I've got what I want there. I can stick these little Neopixels on the back, and then we can do something exciting with it. Alright, so let's pop these in. Some of them I think will need a little bit of trimming. Well, they might just go in on their own. No, just where the resin ran over the top of the mould. Lovely. Looks better already, doesn't it? They do look like proper bulbs now. I think I'll run round them a little bit on the back with glue, with the glue gun, just to make sure that they're all held in. Well, they're not wobbly. This is what a glue gun is properly for. Okay, not the neatest thing, but it's fine on the front, so that's great. And hopefully if I get one of these little lights, pop that light behind it, if I get it lined up right, that should be cool. Look at that, much brighter. So let me just show you this little Neopixel now. So I've got 3 wires coming into it, and the cool thing about it is that it's got a red and a green and a blue LED in it. Let's turn it off for a bit. Well, you should be able to see the 3 little bits there. Each one of those is a different colour LED. On the back you've got a direction on there, and it says 5 volt in, and you've got a positive there and a negative there and a data, and there's a data in and there's a data out, so the middle wire there is data. This is really cool because you can wire each one to the next one, and when you do that, the thing that controls it knows the sequence it's in. So as long as you follow that sequence as you're wiring it up, then each one of these, the thing that controls it can talk to exactly the right LED that it wants to. Doesn't have to turn them all on, doesn't have to make them all the same colour. And that's what's really cool about these Neopixels. They're intelligent, they know where they are on the chain. So what I'm going to do, I've got a few of these, they come as a strip. I'll break the strip off, I'll glue them to the back of those bulbs, and then I'll just run this wire and solder them to each one. Let's do that now. So I'll just do the 5 volts first. And I've got this enamel coated wire. I've just sanded the ends off a little bit with a sanding stick and then tinned them. And hopefully now that will just go straight on here. As perfect as that. And then I can push that out of the way and do the next one. So I'll get all these done. I don't think I'm going to film this, but I'll come back afterwards and these will all be wired up. Okay, so how are we going to control this? Well, you've seen this thing here, but I'm not going to use that one. Let me show you what I've got. So this is an ESP32. And you can get loads of different types. This one's quite big and ew. Sorry about this. Okay, so this is a microcontroller, and on this occasion I'm not going to do any programming on this, but I want to show you how easy it is just to use these. I'm actually going to just connect 3 wires to this, exactly the same as the Neopixels. 1 data pin, a power pin and a ground pin. So it's going to be easy, but let's program it first. Now watch how easy it is to program it. I'll just get the computer out. Okay, so a bit unusually on this does work on a Mac, but you have to use either Chrome or Edge. Obviously you can't use Edge on a Mac. Search for WLED Chrome install. Install WLED.me is what we need to go for. Sounds a bit dodgy, but there's a GitHub behind this, so it's fine. All right, so this amazingly allows you to install the software for that just on your web browser. So just to see what happens first, if I hit install to begin with, you'll probably see that you've got some ports here, but it's not that one. It's not a Bluetooth one. So what I've got to do is let's just cancel that for the moment. If I just connect this device I connect it to the ESP. So let's try that again. So this is what you'd have done before normally. If I do install, you'll see there's a different port there. Yeah, there's a couple of ports there. It doesn't really matter. So what you've got to do is just pick one of them. And it's probably just going to be, well, it could be either of these, but we'll see what happens. We do that and hit connect. All right, so see, it's worked out it can do it straight away, and it's just got install WLED. That's all you have to do. So let's click on it. It says about, do you want to install it? On the screen behind, you could choose a different version. I always do the most up-to-date one. Just hit install. And then we've just got to wait for 2 minutes. So I'll fast forward this. All right, so there it is completed. If you hit next, and then it asks you for the Wi-Fi. So this is the Wi-Fi that your device is going to connect to. All right, it will see the Wi-Fi that you're currently connected to, and that's maybe the one you want to use. If you've got another access point that's just for your Internet of Things stuff, if you do that, maybe you'll use the other one. This has got to be 2.4 megahertz though. It can't be the fast stuff. So type your password in. And this doesn't actually connect to it. All it does is write this to the device so that the device works with Wi-Fi. And then after that, you should be able to connect to it. So amazingly, that's the web interface that's running on this teeny little thing here. So now we can control things that are connected to it, but we've got to connect the wires to it. So we'll do that. Okay, so I've got these 3 wires here going into the Neopixel. We need to get 5 volts out first. Now this one's got a pin that's got 3.3 volts. Obviously that's not 5 volts, but it's also got voltage in. Now if I plugged USB into that, you'd see that that would give the 5 volts of the USB out on that. I'm going to use that as my voltage in. And for this particular board, it's a bit of a pain. It's got the pins in it. I'd rather just solder directly into the holes, but that's not going to happen. So I'm going to solder them on top of that. And then the other thing that's important is this pin 4. That's where the data is going to come from. And then ground is just there. So ground is easy. And we should be able to check this quite quickly. All right. So really easy, to be honest. This whole wiring has just been ground, positive and data in and out. Let's see if this works then, or whether it produces the smoke. Let's try this. Oh, looks good. All right, look, you can just see it through there. Just turn the lighting off for a second. Look at that. That's really lighting up. This is the back of it, obviously, but let's turn it round, and that looks pretty good. And you see it still works with my lights on. So this is way brighter now. This is working fantastically. So when you first flash the WLED software onto this, sometimes it only lights the first one up orange. So I've got the WLED application on my phone as well. So I'm just going to search for this device and go discover lights and see it's found one. So if I go back, so that's this device that it's found. So I can go into it, and you see now I've got this color wheel and various other bits and bobs, but the cool things are effects. So let's go to effects and let's click an effect and see what happens. Android. Hey, now you've got to admit that's more circus. Yes. All right, that's really cool. So, I mean, if you want to have a go with this, these ESPs aren't that expensive. This is probably overpowered for what I'm doing here. I think this is a, I don't know, is it called a C1 or something? You can get much smaller ones of these as well. And you can also get a device called a WeMust D1, which is a lot smaller. So you've got to admit, having these lights just not being solid is a massive, great big improvement on this Arrow. And if I look at some of them, I mean, let's find one. Chase 1, 2, and 3. So Chase, yeah, that's looking way more circus. Chase 2, keeps them on for a little bit longer. Chase 3, does it a bit slower by the looks of it. Yeah, with a gap on the middle of it. I mean, that's much more like one of these arrows that you get in the circus. And you could probably change this as well, so you can alter the speeds and do all manner of stuff on it. Of course, this isn't just... Now let's get it into doing something a bit more. Let's do breathe. All right, so, I mean, this doesn't show that it's individual lights, but see, it's pulsing that orange. But of course, it's not just orange. If I go to colours, I can now change the colours. So there you go, look, it's now blue. In fact, I can change it on this wheel up here as well to whatever colour I like. So I think you'll agree this is a dead simple way of putting extra lights in a model. So I've got a couple more things I want to do with this. If I look at this cardboard that I took out the back, and I think I can probably fit this WeMust directly in there. So I'll unsolder it, poke the wires out, and then I'll be able to plug that USB in on the outside, and then it'll protect all the wiring, make it a bit more standalone. It doesn't have to be something that's plugged into USB all the time. I could put one of my little USB power packs in here. I don't know how long it'd last. You can watch the video about that here. But I could maybe put that in the side and then use the on and off switch. Yeah, so I'll put this in and tidy it up. But what can we put LEDs in next? If you want to find out, subscribe and you'll see in a future video. Bye.